There we go. I'm all cockeyed. Hi,
Hello,
guys.
speakers, people that, there's something better out there for you. You want to make a difference. You want to be happy, but you're stuck in this what feels like life is on autopilot. So we're Rita and Tammy, we're brain trainers. And what we do is bring you videos to help you transform and really get out of life what you want. You're the people that want to make a difference. You're the people that want to leave a legacy. You're the people that want to really make an impact for better, for good.
That's right. We all have something down deep inside that we want to shine. We want to think and believe that there's something better out there. There's something to look forward to, something to live for, something to have a purpose. Mm-hmm. And guess who gets to rewrite that? Look, we know as brain trainers that we created what we have today because of our past, not knowing that we do have a say in the matter and we can be the cause in the matter of our life. So we know the past is over and those hurts and pains no longer should dictate our future. But until we know how to drive our own bus, our own brain, our own mind, our own thoughts, until we know how to redirect that smart part of us, can we actually come out and learn how to swim, right?
Exactly. Hey, you guys are the people that you love Tony Robbins, you love Bruce Lipton, you love Bob Proctor, bless his soul, you love Earl Nightingale, you love Joe Dispenza, like Brendan Bouchard. You love these people that have given you insight into yourself, but you can't afford to work with them.
Oh, that's true.
Like maybe they're just like, to really get the changes that are possible, you're not going to put the money in because you're just not capable. You're not able to do that, right? And so we are people that comprehend and understand how your brain works. So when Joe Dispenza talks, we understand that he's actually talking about the resources in your memories. We understand that he's talking about the way the brain creates a pattern and how that floods the body and how the little cells open up or close up and create health or illness because of our thoughts. And so if you want to direct your thoughts and really know what to do in any situation so that you're saying, you know what, I want to be peaceful right now, so I know what to do. Or I want to be happy right now, I know what to do. And you want to empower yourself, then we've got some great answers for you.
Yeah, we got some great answers and great tools. These tools you will learn for yourself. And we know that we don't want you to depend on coaches. We don't want you to depend on outside circumstances or people. We know that we want you to be self-sufficient through your own voluntary contributions, right? Yes. We know that we can teach you and you can apply these techniques every day, every moment, thought for thought. And this will empower you to be able to choose the type of life that you want to have.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you have that power, then guess what you do? You give it to others. So it's expanding and growing exactly what you've been learning about all the time. I remember the days when I was learning about positive mindset, but I wasn't able to do it. Maybe that's where you are. You're like, I know all this stuff, but I'm not able to do it because I was stuck in the trying path. I was trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that. And it wasn't until I realized that I actually could do it inside of my own head to change my own sensations. And so letting us help you do that is so powerful because we have our own blind spots, guys. We all have our own blind spot and we need that person to come along with us and find it and then help us rewrite it.
Yeah, you brought up that good, I used to buy books because I knew there's got to be something better out there. There's got to be something easier. There's got to be something that this doesn't make sense. How can we have drug? how can we have drug addictions? How can we have alcoholism? How can we have, obesity? How can we have all these mental issues and these huge divorces and I don't get it. I don't get it. So when I came to learn about the mechanics of the mind, right, our training, that made it so plausible. It made it so concrete. Like I can change it right here, right now. If I do step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I can change this feeling, this angst, this worry, this concern, this old memory. Like I can go and play with my brain and rewire those ugly feelings that were there that stopped me and limited me and kept me safe and kept me small. And because I used to read those books too. I bought all those books, how to do this, how to influence that, how to, think and grow rich. And but it was not clicking. I think the majority of people who are visual, maybe they have a better upper hand on how to create what you want and they can see it. But, that part of my brain kind of shut down for safety. And so I need to learn how to do it through all my other senses, right? So this is super duper powerful because, we can read Think and Go Rich. We can read the principles of, Earl Nightingale, and we can get changes and shifts quicker and faster. Any book out there, and you can read a book and you can change once you capture that limiting belief or thought or feeling. With this type of technology and training, you can switch it and flip it and things will change. It's amazing.
Right. And it changes for others too in your life. So whether you're struggling with a relationship in your life or your own body, maybe you don't have any positivity towards your own body. Maybe you wish you were someone else or wish you didn't have this particular body or these experiences in your past. And those thoughts and the reasons behind them are really what's driving it. It's not you. You're authentically beautiful and worth it. And the authentic you is just so wonderful. We want you in touch with that part.
Yeah. And we know that the brain has captured these ugly parts or these awful parts that have happened. People have dealt with abuse as a child. They've dealt with hurts and pains from family members. They've lost children and parents. We know that life happens. And I think what's important is how do we respond to that? Mm-hmm. Do we respond in a way that we could appreciate the life that we do have? Can we respond in a way that doesn't tear our bodies up, that doesn't create, stress in our bodies? And, when we're stressed, our body is in survival mode, like all day. Your nervous system is just crashed because of all the perceived threats that our brain loops because it's trying to protect us, but really it's no longer happening. And we need to update that. And our brains are plastic. We can update those hurts and those pains. And we can see that, you can make complete and total ultimate peace with anything that happened to you, anything you did to someone else. You can make peace with that where it doesn't have to drive you to insanity.
Yeah. And it really is just the way you perceived that memory and what you took it to mean about you, and that limiting belief that followed you through life because of experiences. And those experiences can be updated right in your own brain. Your brain will do it for you when you know how to connect the right emotion and right understanding and right perspective. And just all you have to do is dismantle the pieces and then things collapse, and it's a beautiful process. And if you didn't think about anything else except the power of your memories in your life, think about it this way. Would you know how to tie your shoes if you didn't have a memory of tying your shoes? Would you know how to drive a car? Would you know how to walk? Would you even know how to talk without a memory? So all of these things are proof that if you had no memory of tying your shoe, well, you'd have to relearn it today. You had no memory of talking, you would have no idea what's being said or how to speak. And so that's how powerful memories are in your emotional state. The memories you have about emotions are just as powerful as the fact that you don't have to think about tying your shoe or driving a car. And when we can find those powerful memories that are driving this automatic emotion that's leaving you in a bad relationship, in a bad job, in a, in a bad body, or whatever you perceive as bad, then things start to change for real.
Yeah.
They really do.
And we know that it starts with a thought.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can start thinking differently, like how great can your life be if you woke up in the morning and the first thought was like, oh, I'm alive.
I'm alive.
It's snowing, it's sunny, it's raining, whatever it is, but like a sense of total gratitude, and wake up with the thought that I make a difference in life, and wake up with the thought that, my significant other, my partner loves me, or if you don't have a partner, like you can be like just wake up in the morning with the thought that like everything works out and all works out. Like there's always something to look forward to. What would that be worth, to wake up in the morning and be like not automatically into a hypnotic trance?
Right.
What is a hypnotic trance? Tell me.
So the hypnotic trance is that state of automatic things. Anything that your brain is not present, basically. So anything where your brain is back there, it's doing the tying your shoe for you. It's doing the driving for you. And so you get to be on autopilot, or anything in the future that you worry about, fret about, fear, or even dream. Those are all a state of hypnosis. So anything that's not present right now, right in front of you, is your brain's ability to believe that you're somewhere else. Really.
And it can't tell the difference, right?
Right. It cannot. That's why if you think about a person that did something to harm you, you'll instantly have those same sensations. Well, you're not back there. Why is your body doing that? Because the memory is so powerful.
Yes.
So let's learn how to update those memories, and then you will know how the mechanics of the mind work to benefit your purpose. We want to see you hit your goal. We want to see you live your dream life. We want to see you make a massive difference in our world and live with all the inner peace that you deserve, because you're so worthy.
Yeah. And I'd like to talk about like why we have problems, because depending on the program that you're working with, right? If you have the doctrine of, okay, so let's say you have a problem. Like we believe that it's not a problem. We believe that it is you are, I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, but that you are successfully creating.
Yeah.
Like you are doing something right inside your mind, inside your body, to be able to create what we call, i.e., the problem, the issue, the pain, the symptom. You are successfully creating that.
Right.
Right.
And the reason it's a success is because your brain knows how to do it, and it's automatically doing it. So it is the same as successfully know how to drive a car. You successfully know how to tie your shoes. You successfully know how to be angry a lot or sad or hurt. or irritated. And so that is a successful response because the brain is doing it for you.
Yeah. So we have 100% truth. So the first truth of this mindset or this concept is that you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stage was set before you were born. So the stage was set, your environment was set, your caretakers had their coping skills, right? You learned from them, right? You learn from your culture, you learn from your society, you got conditioned, right? And the conditioning was happening either consciously or unconsciously. It wasn't like you said, like, okay, I'm going to condition myself to think that I'm an idiot. But in the environment that you were, maybe your parents were running around saying, you're an idiot, I'm an idiot, that was an idiot mistake. So therefore, if anything goes wrong, that's where the brain links idiot with something going wrong. If you make a mistake, that was my thing. A mistake was really, I fucked up. I made a mistake. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can never clean it up because it's over. The mistake's been done. So to make peace with that as a 50-year-old, I can make an error and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I screwed up and I can never fix it, right? So from our experiences, we develop our own coping mechanism. So what did I do to cope? I just got mad or angry. If I made a mistake, I was just, I could not own up to it. For some reason, I thought we were all perfect and no human being ever makes mistakes. So we learned how to survive. We learned how to survive through our perspectives. And then we go find people that are aligned with us, that are congruent, right? Right, Tammy?
Yes.
And we form beliefs. We form beliefs about ourselves, about others, about the world. What else?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you found yourself attracted to something that, you keep seeing the pattern in it, then that's something to take a look at. Like what part in your history is driving that same pattern, right?
Yep. So we create an identity. I am this, I am that, and we start coping with that. And we learn to operate from that. So now the world looks like I'm a mistake. They're a mistake. Everyone's a mistake. So you're like even harder on other people because you're like, whatever model of thinking that you got when you were young and you have not updated. Some of us have updated. I mean, it naturally happens. We do update memories, either for the worse or for the better. Most of the time, for the worst, right?
Exactly.
And all our problems are an expression of what we hold inside, right? Conscious or unconscious, what we hold inside. And how are we holding things inside? By memory,
right?
By feelings.
So a memory is how you saw it, how you heard it, how you felt it, how you smelled it, how you tasted it. That's why, if you hate asparagus and you see asparagus, you're like, ugh, like you have this instant reaction, right? If you smell roses and you hate and you love roses, you're going to have this instant reaction. The memory's driving it. You might not know that it's the memory. All right. So the subconscious is so fast. It's like when you touch a hot stove and you just like, you didn't know that you moved your hand until after you're like, oh, I burnt myself. So that's how fast your subconscious is. It finds that memory and says, oh, tie your shoes like this. Oh, drive like this. Oh, get angry like this. Oh, get irritated like this. Oh, get perfect or unperfect, like notice that you're not perfect like that. And so it's just super fast. And we just don't realize that those memories are there driving it.
Split seconds, guys, split seconds. Expressions are built from your inner resources, like Tammy was saying, whether you remember them or not.
Right.
They are fast. I think we call it the librarians. Right?
Yes. And that, so what's proof is what's showing up. So when people say, no, I don't have anything against anyone, but they're angry all the time, then the proof is in the action. Okay. So when your child is acting up and you can't, you don't know like what's wrong with them, or they can't express to you, or they're saying, no, nothing's wrong, but you're seeing something's wrong. So they don't, what was I saying? They don't know that it's going on in the background, but the proof is in the action, right?
Right.
So that's what you want to look at for like, I keep doing this thing, right? The other day I was at my daughter's and she went to the cupboard for something. And then she was like, oh, it's over here. So it's an automatic response to do what we've patterned a habit, right? If you switch something around, you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh, I grabbed this wrong. I put that there wrong. Because it's moved. It's not in the same exact location. Try it with your toilet paper. If you don't believe me.
Even the phone, like if you forget a phone number, you just put the phone in front of you and all of a sudden the action, because it's a program. So your brain will express and create before you what you've already learned, and it will reuse it and then create habits and moods. And
if they're good, great. Don't mess with them, keep them, but when your actions aren't congruent with how you want to, aren't in alignment with how you, with how you think that is going, you think everything's peaceful, then we know, there's something not lining up with that, not peaceful. So then that there is something back there. And that's what, you might not know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And then when I found out, I was really shocked. I was totally shocked and surprised at how come I kept getting injured over and over and over every year in January. And to find out it came from an old time memory. And then it stopped when I figured out that my brain was using something I didn't know.
Right. So. And we believe that the real cause of problems is truly your perception of it. And remember, you're like 7 years old, you're like 3 years old. So your perception is coming from a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old. Like you're not 5 anymore.
No, right? You're totally innocent and sweet and worthy and all of those wonderful things, and nothing bad should have ever happened to you, but it did. And then your brain believed something. And we just want to transform that for you so you can get back to that carefree, lovable little child. And one way you'll know that there's stuff stuck in your little child is when, you get angry and you start acting like a 2-year-old, or you get sad and you can't control, your ugly crying or whatever it is.
Right.
These things have child, you see people act like a child. That's because they are. They're their emotional intelligence kind of stop there. So that's why updating and upgrading the software in your brain, those programs, is so important. And perceptions is created from your life experiences from the past, right? I was going to say past lives, but then I was like, oh no, past lives means something else. Yeah, the past is recorded data from a child's perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's why we know we can rewrite it, and because we know the brain is plastic. Yeah.
So the past does.
Wait, can I add to that? Think of it this way: like when you're a little child and your dad or mom say no to you, like you think, here's what I did. I was like, oh, they don't want me to have any fun. They just want to make me work. They think if I have fun that, they just want to spoil things for me. Like that's my 3, 5, 6-year-old perspective. But as an adult, I can be like, well, a parent says no because they actually care about their child, or they have other things going on, or it has nothing to do with the child. It's just not possible. Right. But from a child's perspective, it means something bad about me. I can't have it. I don't get it. I don't have a choice. And it's just not true. So that's hopefully that clears up what that explanation is about a child's perspective.
Yeah.
Especially those that have children, right? You know that their perspective is not always beneficial.
To what? To what part of you, right? So that's another topic. Okay. The past doesn't exist. Only the perceived threat of it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's if you have, that's if, you know, that's if you're, if all you can remember from your childhood is all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know, your childhood doesn't exist. Those are just replays that we keep replaying. It's what the brain does. So, you know, we know that we know that if your mom forgot to pick you up, that one time out of 1,000 times she's picked you up, she's brought you snacks and lunch, and you guys go to, you know, whatever, that one time that she didn't pick you up on time, and you make it, I mean, it could be as traumatic as that, or it can be repeated, you know, offenses and abuses in early childhood sex education, like all of that can be a traumatic from any degree. You know, it's still the brain, it still works that way.
Right. And when we say it's not happening, it's not, did you say it's not real or it's not true?
It doesn't exist right now.
It doesn't exist. So what that means is that it doesn't mean that something didn't happen, but the way that your brain is represented, it is probably inaccurate, which I was really surprised to find out. I thought my brother was a liar, not that he actually had a whole different perspective, right? If you've ever talked to siblings, you might get a different perspective and be like, what? That didn't happen. Well, that's right, because their memory held different resources than yours. And so I can't remember what I was going to finish on that. So anyway, so the brain will use things that it thought happened. Okay. And
the brain distorts.
Yes. And
generalizes.
So when we say that it doesn't exist, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. You might be inaccurate about it though. And it's the only things that are existing now are little fires, little lightning things in your brain that remind you of that. All right. So we don't mean it's not true and it didn't happen. We mean it no longer exists except for in your own thought.
Right. The unconscious mind records, organizes, and operates from memories and proofs. So Tammy was talking about memories and proofs. And that we believe that to be 100% true. And that's why we have problems. And the unconscious mind expresses memories by physical reactions to the body and then consciously getting our attention, right? And then our logical conscious self starts making up a story to either exacerbate, are you complaining or are you bragging? Like, where are you when you catch yourself? You know what I'm saying? Your body hits your body. Now you're going to make it mean. She yelled at me. And now it's like, she makes me feel bad and and she's terrible. And all my friends are so mean to me. Right. So now are you bragging or are you complaining or are you just replaying old stories?
The old belief that keeps showing up. It sent your brain Googling for proof. And then it's going to keep looking for it. I hope that makes sense because it's more logical than some ethereal thing that says you're going to create this. No, it's very logical that what your brain holds, it's going to keep looking for, especially those things that are most traumatic to your life. That's how you attract something that is the same problem you've always had. Yeah,
those patterns, because the brain likes being very comfortable and doesn't want to, because how many times the first time you learned how to drive, I mean, you probably got a headache because you're just like this, or you're doing a new math problem, or you're learning a whole new scientific equation, and your brain, it takes effort to learn a new language. It's because it's taking effort to you're consciously trying to do this, and your brain's picking up, but then it stops because we say it's too hard, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. The
Powerful.
parts
to learn that is so powerful, to know like it's normal and this is just how it works, instead of feeling like there's something wrong with you because this keeps happening, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the parts of the brain picks up are the ones that have the highest emotions.
Yep.
The intensity of the emotion is the highest.
Which, let me tell you, those aren't going to be the good experiences. I mean, they can be, but you gotta work harder to remember those good experiences, as opposed to the ones that want to, this happened to protect you. We're going to use that. We're going to have it really handy.
Right. Yeah. And, the key is that we need to understand how the brain works so we can make it work for us more efficiently. And that's what we do in our 13-week transformational journey, is that we educate you on how the brain works. So now you have an awareness, you have a knowledge, and then you start realizing it, and then you start noticing it, and then you're like, oh yeah, making that mean. You get so much power when you know, because how much power do you have when you know how to drive a car? This is the stick shift, this is the gas, this is the pedal. You are empowered. You are in the driver's seat. Right. When you're like, I don't know what to do. Right.
Many things to watch. I remember my kids being like, how am I supposed to check behind me and check that mirror and still watch the road? Right. And now it's just a flow.
Exactly. Your conscious mind can't remember even a third of your life's memory, and you don't even want to have that. That's why the unconscious, that's why your body holds that stuff. If you do not let it go, and you don't let it out, and you don't vent it, and you keep it and you store it, it shows up in body pain.
In the actions too.
In the actions.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why we have problems, there's so many different doctrines. Like I was saying earlier, it's like if you're a Christian, it's because you're a sinner. If you're in the doctor field, it's because you are you got an illness, a disease, you got what do they call those? Diagnoses, right? If you're a nutritionist, it's because you're eating the wrong foods. If you're a chemist, it's because you're subject to chemicals in the environment. So just depending on what modality, and this is what I love about our training, is our modality says, like, they all work to some level. They work to the level of belief. They work to the level of the level that they have, right? So when you have 100% truth that you are creating your own, and you can clean up, and you work with the brain, it's so powerful. Like, the problem is not out there. The problem is how we are processing it. So we can change the process system, which is in our control. I think it's just so much easier.
Well, yes, because I don't know about you, but I've tried to change other people. And so since that's really super hard and impossible, then I can do the one thing that I can be in control of. And, life happens, but if you feel empowered to be able to change what you're doing inside your own head, at least you've got that forever, right? Nobody can take that from you.
Yeah. And like Tammy was saying, everything inside you is you. You said that, right?
I think I said it on the last training, but yes, that is totally true.
And that used to really bother me, just so you know, that really just like rubbed me the wrong way, especially when you're like, well, my mom made me feel this way. Well, your mom's not in your head. I'm like, no shit. I know that. But so you want to explain that?
Yeah, but it is if you can look at it like that, and I did too. I was just like, that's not true, because that's real and that's true and that happened, but it's not real now. And we only have this present moment. Everything else is us replaying things. So we get to be the did you already talk about that? We get to be the
Director,
coach, the director, the players, the villain, the victim. We get to be all of that when we watch those movies in our head, or we feel those sensations, or we hear those sounds that cause that same problem for us. So everything is in our own head means if it's not present, if my dog isn't laying here on the floor in front of me right now, but I think about my dog laying on the floor, then that representation of my dog is my creation from a memory.
Yeah. So you are successfully producing something based on what you hold inside or in your mind. Yeah.
Yes. So true. And you'll find that to be true if you travel to a different country and you're confused by their customs. For you, there's certain things that are normal in your custom, but you don't have something in your brain about a different custom. So when you go there, it seems very different because you've never experienced it. So
go travel, guys.
Yeah.
Go to something new and just notice how you react to the newness. Are you stressed out? Are you like all hyper vigilant? Or like, just be aware that, there's no failures, only expressions of your internal references. That's so powerful, because we think we're failing.
Nope, there's nothing wrong with you. And that was the question I kept asking. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And that was just a sound of somebody else saying that to me.
Yeah.
From long, long ago. It wasn't even me asking that, but there wasn't anything wrong with me. I just didn't know how to direct my own brain.
Right. Right. The root of any problem is the meaning you give it, your perception of it. And I don't want to sound crude and rude, but if Tammy hit me in the head with a hammer and that was it, okay, done, over. It's not happening anymore, right? But if I made it mean that she doesn't like me and she hit me, and I make it mean that she must be, something's really like wrong here. My perception of her is that she's evil and wicked, that's going to be the root of my problem, because I won't be able to look at her. I won't be hanging out with her because I believe that. Now, if I believe Tammy hit me in
a pause here, because a lot of people feel like they say other people are wicked, and they're not noticing their own wickedness by thinking someone else is wicked. But more than that, by replaying the image and the sound and the feeling of someone else's wickedness that is inside you, in your precious head, in your precious body. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be the root. So there's different ways on how we can address that, but to know that, okay, she hits me with the hammer on my head. And if I don't give it any meaning, or maybe the meaning, I'm like, oh, she tripped and fell and hit me in the head. I mean, and my perception is that she's such a sweetheart. She felt really, really bad. And she took me to the hospital and they gave me the 20 stitches and she paid for it. And now you could be like total best friends, because I didn't make it mean what I made it mean the first time. I chose number two.
And guys, you know what? We want to hold on to those hurts because we think we're protecting ourselves, but we are hurting ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. If Rita replays it the way she just told you that, and, she's like, Tammy was sorry and paid for it all and, wanted to make up for it, and she's the nicest person, then that niceness lives in Rita. She can respond from niceness. If she's holding on to that pain from the hit and the belief that she's terrible and belief that I'm wicked, like, the belief that this hurt me for life. Like, now I'm going to not remember anything because I got hit in the head. So if she holds that, who is it affecting? Her.
Yeah.
Okay. And if
Yeah.
someone else does something wicked and evil to you, you don't deserve it. So we need to let it go so that you can quit doing it and hurting yourself with it.
Yeah. And problems are always a success, never a failure. So, like if we use this hammer situation, if I was to look back in my past, I would notice how I got hit by, actually, a hammer hit my brand new car, 1980 Nissan Sentra car in the back. It hit it. So I remember that. Not that I remember that. Not that James never hit me with the hammer.
Right. But that's where see, that thought could start. Yeah.
Exactly. So going back to that. So yeah, so that's where the information, and my car didn't get hurt. I got it hurt by like, someone damaged my brand new car. Like, how wicked are they to even be envious or whatever? And look, the guy or gal probably fell and hit it on accident, right?
And got so scared and felt so bad and thought they were going to get in trouble. So they quickly, then they had a reaction to their own past. And we just don't want that past creeping up on you. We don't want it hitting you, blindsiding you, and then you reacting in ways that are not of your character, right?
Yeah. And perception is created by the unconscious based on your life's experience, your past lives experience.
The life of your
past,
of your yesterdays.
Of all your yesterdays. Yeah. So that's perception, right? So everything, every experience is interpreted and based on existing proofs. And that's where we go to work on. We go to work on like, what's your problem? What's your experience and how you interpret it? Let's find the proofs. Where are you holding that information and how are you successfully creating that experience here today? Because it's only going to repeat.
And what's so exciting then is things change, relationships heal, people that you've been estranged from show up, body parts miraculously feel better. Like how it shows up is, you get to travel and do some of the things that you love. Like the experiment of repeating the old patterns has proven what shows up. It's what's going on in your life that you no longer want. And let's try something else by doing differently.
Yeah. And when perceptions, sorry, Tammy, you were kind of cutting in and out a little bit. When perceptions change, the response in the brain changes and your body changes. So I always like thinking about like the swimming pool. When your swimming pool is pH balance is perfect, everything's great. It's clear. But the minute that it gets out of balance, like, because look, hate, anger, sadness is tearing your body up cell by cell. The environment is hostile, right? So if I had a hostile pool, it would be green, crap would be growing in there. Things would be, it look dark and green
and stink.
Probably, yeah.
And Joe Dispenza calls those altered emotions. They're not emotions that you were created with. They're not emotions that your body was meant to have because they don't help you grow.
Yes. So change the references. When you change the references, you change your body's response. Yeah.
It's so powerful. References means the parts of the memory that bother you, their face, the pain, the colors, like the texture, the sensation, those things, we can update those and just let them kind of filter down and then create a whole different, a better resource for your brain to go to.
Yeah, you change the the references, then you change your perception, and then that changes your experience in the world. I mean, that is huge.
Because then your brain is looking for, remember when I said your brain is looking for those same limiting beliefs? I'm stupid, I'm unwanted. And then it starts looking to see like, where else is that true? Where else is that true? But if that's not there and you're worthy, then it starts looking for, where else is that true? Where else is that true? And then that perception, that's the difference between my brother and me. When you ask him, if you were to ask him what happened in our, with our parents, and you were to ask me, that's how come it's a world apart, it feels like.
Yeah. So change the memories, change the proofs, and you can change the stress in your body, the stress that you cause.
Absolutely. We're rooting for you. We are on your side, no matter what, to help you reach your goals. And we mostly are on your side for helping you get the things that come for free: joy, peace, and love.
Yeah. And, when you change those proofs and memories, you keep the wisdom, you keep the wisdom, and you keep the learnings, and you keep the gift. And also you get to, because I know a lot of us struggle, like, who would I be without this traumatic memory, right? You would be happier. You would be less stressful. You would be healthier. Like, your body wouldn't have to keep reliving that old trauma. So stress is the body's response to perception. So if I see that time, that event that occurred as a stressful situation, my body is going to be stressed because I'm going to respond that way. Unconsciously too, guys. It's not like you're like, okay, I'm going to be stressed right now. No.
Yes. You'll be wondering, like, what am I so stressed about? It wasn't even a big deal.
Yeah. And the body doesn't know that. The body and the brain do not know the difference between the reality and the imagination. It does not know, like, oh, this is pretend, right? No, it doesn't know. So if you're going to have a wild imagination, talk to Tammy, make sure it's a good imagination that inspires you, that drives you, that moves you into like states of, what did you say? Happy, joy. What was it?
Yeah. Joy, love, and peace. Mm-hmm. So, 3 of the highest emotions on the scale of changing negativity.
Yeah. So I like to say that we believe that a thought can cause the stress response.
Definitely.
A thought can cause a love response.
Definitely.
A thought can cause you to move into action with power, grace, and elegance, right?
Right.
And you guys know that stress weakens the body. Can you imagine what love does or what joy does to the body?
Yeah, I hope you imagine that. I hope you imagine that greatly. And, there's a lot of people that are moved to action, and sometimes they wait until they're sick or on their deathbed, and then they create their bucket list. And we know the stories of people that have made a difference in this world once they found out something that meant they have to take action now. And we just want you to be living in that instead of waiting for something bad to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait to change your stresses. Don't wait to change your triggers.
Yeah. You know what I've read? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
You know what I read in Carolyn Leaf's book? She has a book out.
That Messy Mind.
Yes, that one. And she said they're considering 90% of all illness and disease is stress related. 5% is DNA. So now you're not going to be able to blame your parents any longer and your genetics, right? It's your own stress. Let's capture those thoughts. Let's update them so they provide peace for you. All right. Let your brain do it for you. And we know exactly how to do it and how to cater it for you.
Yeah. Because the brain, generalizes, distorts, and deletes information that were recorded in the first time. So you never are recalling it the same way. You're updating with the current state of your beingness or awareness. So if you have you ever been like really super happy and excited, and all of a sudden you remember something sad about the whole thing? That right there, you're updating it. So can you imagine being totally super excited and then remembering that event? It's just going to make it more fun, more exciting.
Yes.
And it's called the good, bad collapse.
It's
so
simple, and so powerful. And that's a great explanation for how that happens.
Yeah. Let's see. Another truth is every person in your memory is really you. We talked about that. And it's you doing it to you. So it's time to make peace. Memories are neither accurate nor permanent. Memories are updated according to your current experience, creating a new version. So make sure it's a good version, guys. You can't go back to back in time and change what happened, but you can change how it represents in your life today.
Absolutely. And that's just the reticular activation system. Whatever happened, your brain will look for, and you'll be like, there, I feel that again and again. So update it.
Yeah. Update it. And we know that there's, we have a belief, and the beliefs have proof, and the proof can be conscious or unconscious. A belief, what makes it true is that it has an emotion or a feeling or a thought, making it real here today in this 3D world. So beliefs are not based on facts, only proofs and evidence of past experiences. Beliefs seem real because you're producing that sensation in your body here and now. Let's see, and you can change beliefs. That's what we do. We help you change your behavior, your beliefs, your emotions. We help you redirect your brain to support you in what you are up to creating in your life. I don't know. Is there anything else? I mean, there's a lot of truth there. This is why, we have problems or don't have problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. I think we covered a ton, and hopefully gave you guys some value, and also allowed you to have some huge aha moments where not only did it feel that, we're just repeating what you've heard other people said, but it finally started to make sense from a logical perspective of how your brain actually holds information and uses it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, right? If it didn't, you'd have to learn how to tie your shoes and walk and talk every single day. And none of us wants that. So we can appreciate our brain and be super grateful for it, and yet update what's not serving us.
Okay, very good. Thank you for being here. I hope you got a lot of value of it. Just watch this replay 4, 5, 7 times, because you will get some nugget of wisdom every time you replay it. And go ahead and like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell.
Yeah, like and share. Don't forget to share it.
No, don't share this, because then everybody would be like very happy, and we can't have a happy world. So just keep the happiness to yourself.
We know you want to share. Yep. And the